Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thanks for clicking on today's video. We've got a massive pickups video today, a lot of variety, a lot of different systems. Got some toys, comics, video games, some consoles, all different platforms, handhelds, Xbox, Nintendo, Sony. Yeah, we've got a lot to go through today. It's going to be really awesome. I spent the morning cleaning them up. They look amazing. I'm really looking forward to playing stuff that I've had on my list for a long time. Managed to hunt a few down at good prices and in pretty good condition as well. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'm sure there's a little bit here for everybody. Now, I've just been on a road trip for a bit over a week around the state of New South Wales, which is in the east coast of Australia state, and done a few regional centres. Didn't find too much there, but then I headed down to Sydney to see Helen and Brian, and then up to Newcastle to see Paul and Kate and the kids. So got a few things in Sydney and Newcastle, so we're going to go through a lot. Got a bit off eBay and also Facebook Marketplace before I left. We're going to start with those, and then we'll head into all the other pickups that I got when I was away. So I don't want to keep you waiting. I know you're here to see pickups and not me talking about crap. So here we go. All right, now, the first item I got was from a guy at work, actually. He's really into Pokemon, Zelda, or anything Nintendo, and he knew I was getting a 3DS, so he offered me his Ocarina of Time. Charged me $40 for it. He's a bit of a sneaky guy, because he was like, oh, that's how much it's on eBay. And I said, oh, is that sold? He's like, oh, but they were selling for about 35 to 45, so it's a pretty good condition. I didn't want to hassle him. He's a pretty good guy, so I gave him $40. So it is a nice game to have, Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. He actually bought his 3DS in a while ago, and I was playing it, and I was really impressed. So it's nice to have that copy of his. The next lot of games is a big 3DS sort of bundle I got off Facebook Marketplace. The woman was advertising for like $5 each, so went up to Grafton, picked these up. There was I think there was 10 games all up, and I only ended up getting like 8, because this one here didn't have the cartridge in it, Dinosaurs 3D. And there was also another game that wasn't in the bundle. When I got home, I'm like, it's not even there. When I contacted her, there was no response. I just gave her a shit rating. So yeah, so that's Dinosaurs 3D. So I've got to try and find the cart. The cart loose is like $7, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll sort of find it in a pawn shop or a second-hand shop sometime down the track. So that's a 3DS game, Dinosaurs. This is another 3DS game, Rabbids 3D. So that's that. And then next are a lot of DS games. So I got this MX-ATV Untamed title there. And I also got this Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. This one didn't have the manual. All the other ones did have the manual. Unfortunately, this is the one I wanted to have the manual. It didn't have it, so that's that one. Next one is Club Penguin. I don't think any of these games are sort of really that sort of, I don't know, not my style. They look a little bit childish, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I sort of just went out on a limb and just grabbed them. This is one I actually have been playing, Cradle of Rome. It's like a little sort of puzzle game, like, Bejeweled, or, things where you match up sort of rows of stuff. And you get sort of, what do they call it, sort of resources to build villages and stuff. So I'm on that. It's taken a bit of time, so I've got up to like level 30. So I do like those style games, so I've been playing that. Next one's Scooby-Doo. I've already got this game, so this will sort of go into my seconds pile. I've got that one, First Fright. And another game here that I got was Mushies. I think there was another Mushies game somewhere. Anyway, I must have missed Moshies. This one's Moshies. Don't know too much about that. Looks almost like lots of little mini games within this one. Anyway, I haven't given that one a go yet, but I will. I think there's another one in there. Must have left it in there anyway. Right, so that was the one I got from the marketplace. Now, this is an eBay pickup, a big pickup. Probably my last one for a little while actually, but it was one that I really wanted to sort of check off my list, and it's a 3DS. And I got this Yoshi. It's a special edition Nintendo 3DS. So this one was pretty much brand new. It had been used, but I don't think it had been used, so to say. I think it had just been sort of, started. So I got that. It's got all the inserts. I paid a fair bit for that one, as you can imagine, but beautiful. The box is in really good condition, and I just sort of want to start collecting and getting a nice sort of collection of real neat, nice presenting, nice DSs, whether it's a 2DS, 3DS, new 3DS, things like that. So that's the console there. As you can see, it's beautiful with Yoshi on the front, and on the back, and you see it's just laying a few eggs. So it's a beautiful condition console, and I'm really happy to have that one as part of my sort of display. in my collection of DSs and 3DSs. So all there is to do now is to find a 3DS to play. The two I've got, they're sort of more for the collection more than they are to play. So I want to try finding like a new 3DS. So I'm looking out for one of those, maybe in a bundle or something. All right, now the rest of these pickups are from my trip. I didn't get too much in regional centres. There was a nice pawn shop there, but everything was sort of really overpriced, you know, for what it was, and the quality wasn't that good either. I'm like thinking, oh my God, you know, GoldenEye on the N64, like $50 for a crap cartridge. And they had Master System stuff, Genesis stuff, heaps of Switch. They even had N-Gage games there, which I'd never seen before. I only picked up one there just to sort of really, maybe to sort of have a memento from my trip, which was this Foul Play this is a Game Boy Color game. So, you know, I'm into my handhelds at the moment, and another game I sort of wanted to get. Nice sort of neat label on the front there, you can sort of see. So I got that one. That was $20. So it's about right for what it sells for. So I'm happy with that. Everything in that shop was priced to sell. They had heaps of PS4 and Xbox games, but like even games like Destiny and Battlefield 1, they were charging like $10, which is like 10 times the amount you can get. Well, I picked them all up for $1. So yeah, I didn't sort of spend too much time in that shop. And then, yeah, I got some other stuff from CEX in Sydney, JB Hi-Fi, and also EB Games in Sydney, Newcastle. So this is a bit of a mix of all those. And we'll start with the DS games. So some more DS games. Again, I'm just looking to, you know, expand my DS collection, get them when I can see them cheap. This one was $6, so this is Need for Speed Undercover. It's got a bit of water damage on the inside of the cover. It's a bit mouldy, as you can sort of see there. I cleaned it up a bit this morning. I tried to press the manual. It's still a bit creasy, but it turned out all right. But it's nice to get a Need for Speed game for $6, so it's good to check that out. The next DS game I got was this Blood Bowl. So I usually try to buy anything that's Warhammer Games Workshop. So this is one of the games that's been on my list for a little while. So I picked this one up for, I think it was $10 or maybe $12. I think it was $10 on the DS. So it cleaned up all right tonight. I used to love Blood Bowl when I was pretty young. I never played it, but I just used to appreciate it after playing Speedball and that, and on my sort of on my Amiga back in the day. So it sort of reminded me of that. So that's Blood Bowl for the DS. And the last DS game is just another one I picked up pretty cheap, another $10, was just a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles title. And again, they didn't really have much to choose from in the DS. They had a lot of games, but it was all like sort of childish stuff and just the stuff that's sort of sitting there that no one's going to buy. All the good stuff has been picked through. So that was pretty much the only one there. I thought, I don't have a Turtles game for the DS, so I thought I'd just grab that one. All right, there's a couple of random items that I got off my brother. So he gave me a couple of stacks of Pokemon cards. So I'm not into Pokemon at all, but it's just something for me to go through and have a look. I don't know what he knows is in there either. The kids used to buy Pokemon cards, so that's sort of left over that. I'm not sure what series, where they come from, how old they are, but we'll check that out. And I also got some Magic the Gathering cards too. So again, I'm not into Magic the Gathering, but whatever. Kate was saying, just take them or get rid of them. They've been lying around here for so long. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So that's those cards. There's a few comics here, not too much. My brother gave me this big Phantom. It's like must be a big reprint sort of trade, so to say. You can sort of see 2004 annual special. So nice thick book, black and white Australian sort of Phantom comics and that. I'll take it, it's fine. And it come with this real old sort of reprint of like a Phantom comic too. This must have been from like the newsstand from back in like maybe it's got like the old sort of pre-decimal price tag there. It's a sort of sideways opening, probably from a newspaper or something. So that come with it. That was sealed. I just pulled it open this morning. And he gave me this Horizon Zero Dawn comic. So this is an Artgerm cover. I think he had like 4 different issues. There's like a black and white and a couple of versions of the same cover. So I asked if I could have one with the title. So he gave me that one. So thanks for that, Paul. Nice Artgerm cover. And I got this old, I remember, I don't know if he bought this Zelda, but this is one of the old Game & Watch minis. They sort of like little classics. They used to hang on keychains. So this is the Zelda one, and he was like going through his stuff and he asked if I wanted that. And I was like, yeah. So I just sort of, you know, put that up somewhere. So that's that. And the final thing is this, I forget where he told me we got this. This is like Zelda. What's this one called? This is A Link to the Past. So yeah, it's a trade. So it must be like a collection of comic books, because I can sort of see that it sort of, you know, starts and stops at different issues. So yeah, it's done by the Japanese Shotaro I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name, but yeah, it's a nice trailer with a link to the past. So I guess if that game had a story behind it as you go through it, I'm assuming that that's the story there. So yeah, that's that. All right, now we'll hit another console. My sister Helen, she saw one of my videos and I was saying I wanted a PSP, and she said, Brian's got a PSP, doesn't use it anymore, if you want it. And I was like, for sure, you know, I'd love to have it. That'd be awesome. Brian's stuff is always immaculate, always well looked after. And I was really excited. And I was just said to her, out of curiosity, does Brian have a Vita? I was just curious he had one as well, you know. And she sent me a picture. I go, that's the Vita. So it ended up being a really beautiful Vita that I got from Brian. So thank you very much. It's the 1 series, so it's the OLED screen. And yeah, I've never used a Vita. I don't know too much about it. Got the charger off him. He booted it up. I think he updated it from what I remember. So I did get a couple of games the other day to sort of try it out. So now I'm going to start off my little Vita collection. So it's a beautiful, beautiful unit. So I'm so keen. I'm going away again next week for actually a little bit of a sit around at a resort. So I'm going to take my Vita with me. I'm going to learn it. I got a couple of games. So these are the 2 games that I got. I got these from CX. As you know, Vita games aren't cheap, and I don't know too much about Vita games. I want to sort of get more Japanesey sort of style stuff to go with these Vita. I want to sort of do it in a certain way to collect instead of buying sort of console stuff like, say, Uncharted or things like that. Or I saw other games like that. I thought I'd just try things I'd never heard of, and I don't even know how to pronounce this one. Disgaea or something. Like I said, they're not cheap. This one, I think I paid like $35 and $40 for each of these 2 titles. So yeah, this one, I'm not, like I said, there was a lot there. Some of them are pretty pricey, some of them were pretty cheap, but didn't really interest me. And I just sort of tried to grab a couple that did, and that was one of them there. So yeah, we'll give that one a bit of a whirl when I go away. And the other one I got was this Child of Light. So this one looks sort of interesting. Looks like it's got a fair bit of DLC on it with the complete edition. It might be a little bit of an RPG, as I can remember reading about it before. So that's that one there. So that's Child of Light. Yep, so that's my 2 Vitas. I'm really happy. 2 beautiful consoles, you know, in this video. You know, just so lucky. Just love them. I just love looking at them. Can't wait to play them. Can't wait to get a 3DS to play and really get stuck into it. So that's that. All right, now I did get some toys. Now, you can sort of see behind me, I try to cover my walls up with everything. I've tried to get a few toys to sort of hang on, action figures and all that kind of stuff. More artistic and characters that I like. Just to sort of stick in between the gaps on the wall over here. Maybe when I stick them up, I'll put it into the next video and just sort of show you what it looks like. But yeah, I've got four little toys. I thought they were awesome. I saw this one when I was lining up to pay for one of the games in the next part. So this is Spider-Man. This is part of the Marvel Legends run. So they paid $20 for this beautiful Spider-Woman. The art looks great. The figure looks awesome too. There's a nice little sort of series of that, like Hulk, Moon Knight, Silver Surfer. So I might try to keep an eye out for a couple more. They do look really awesome. So you can sort of see on the back too. So nice card stock, sort of nice and slick. That'll look awesome on the wall sitting there with the sort of comic book art. So that's Spider-Woman. And the next one I got was this Star Wars one. I hadn't seen this one before, and you know, I'm watching Ahsoka at the moment. Absolutely loving Ahsoka, and I always loved Sabine when I used to watch the Rebels series. So I'd never seen this one, so I sort of picked this one up. It's obviously one of the Ahsoka shows. You can see at the top there on the card, and yeah, so I just sort of grabbed that one. This one cost me $50. You know, toys aren't cheap. Nothing's cheap these days. So I was just like, you know what, just grab. That'll look awesome on the wall too with some of my other, you know, Ahsoka stuff and Star Wars stuff. So I grabbed that one. That's yep, Sabine Wren. The next one I got is a Star Wars one, another Star Wars one, which is this Boba Fett figure. So this is Empire Strikes Back. This was one of the comic, what do they call it? It's a vintage comic art one. This is expensive, like $45. A lot of the other ones are like $25, and yet this one's $45. I couldn't find it cheaper anywhere. And I've wanted it for months and months, so decided to just, you know, pull the pin and just go for it, you know. So little look nice on the wall. It's got the art from the back here from Star Wars 44, which is the first appearance of Boba Fett and all the other bounty hunters from Empire Strikes Back. So there's a few other there that have a on the back, as you can see. Yeah, so that'll look awesome on the wall next to some of my other Star Wars items. And the final action figure I got, or toy, was this Ghost Rider. Went to King's Comics in Sydney. You know, we've been going there for 30 years and it's changed locations a few times. Now it's in this really beautiful store. Everything's sort of more, it's like more of an art museum-y style sort of comic book store. Everything's priced, you know, up. Everything's organised. There's no real bargains that you can find. Even the $5 comics are actually pretty shit. They should be like 25 cents in my opinion. But I kept walking past this. I'm like, you know what? I want this. So I'm going to attach this to the wall. You can see Ghost Rider. I love Ghost Rider. Always has. Was sort of back. Even when I was like 15, I was buying Ghost Rider comics. And yeah, so it looked really awesome. So I grabbed that. That looks sick on the wall. Right, so that's the toys. Now we get into the you know, the main part, all the video games. There's lots of variety here, a bit of this, a bit of that. So we'll start off with some Nintendo, and then I'll sort of say about a few of the games that I wanted to get that were on my list. This is one of them, and this is House of the Dead. This is the 2 and 3 on the Wii. Now, if you saw my last pickups video, I got a little sort of a gun for the Wii controller, and I've been looking for this game. And I wanted to not buy it without having to pay postage from eBay. So I found this at CX for 20 bucks, and it's in really good condition. It's got the manual. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting upstairs and just checking out a light gun game. As I said in that one, if you haven't seen, I've never played a light gun game at home, and this was one that I really wanted to start it off with. So picked up the House of the Dead and a couple more Wii games. I got this Ferrari game, the Race Experience. Now this is a game that you can play with the wheel, obviously, and it just looks really sort of professional instead of the sort of more cartoony style games that I would expect sort of coming from the Wii. So when I saw that, I think I'd seen it a while ago on someone else's video, or yeah, no, someone else's channel, and this was like, I think $6 for this. It was cheap as, so I thought I'd grab that. And I do love car games, so it'll be different. It sort of says something interesting. Lifelike opponents adapt to your racing strategy and style. So I'm always up for a bit of that. And another car game, the final Wii game I got was this Hot Wheels. I sort of don't really sort of pass on any Hot Wheels games. I think there's a new one coming out soon which looks awesome, so I'll probably pick that one up. But yeah, this is for a Wii. As you can see at the top, it's got the steering wheel over here, so it's steering wheel compatible, so we'll get stuck into that one. Cleaned them up this morning again, it looks awesome. So that's the 3 Wii games. That's Hot Wheels Track Attack. I've got a few Xbox 360 games, starting with this one. I had never even seen this one or heard of this one before. This Hulk Hogan's Main Event. Now, I've got an NTSC Xbox 360, and I put all these in this morning, and 3 out of the 4 played, so they weren't region locked. So I'm really excited to play this on the Kinect. I don't know how a wrestling game will sort of, you know, go with Kinect. So I'm going to actually do some video of this for my next video. We'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, saw this one loads up. It'll be really interesting. So that's Hulk Hogan's. Paid $10 for that one at CEX. Something that I always like to collect for too is Lord of the Rings stuff. So this is War in the North on the Xbox 360. This one also worked when I tried it out this morning. So yeah, anything Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, whatever, I'll always buy it. And this was cheap. Like, yeah, I think this was $5, so that's good. So happy with that one. Another game, I don't have any Soul Calibur games. So I picked up this Soul Calibur 5. This one was also $5. This one also plays next door on the NTSC version. So I really wanted to get a Soul Calibur game for a long time. Just sometimes it just slips my mind just to sort of, when I sort of see it, I'm like, yep, I've specifically looked for a Soul Calibur game. Picked up this one. Yeah, so that one worked. Looks awesome. And the game that didn't work next door, but I've got an Xbox 360 sub in another room that I can play on, this is Perfect Dark Zero. I paid $2 for this, $2, I love Perfect Dark. It's sort of nostalgic for me from the N64, and I've got it on the Game Boy Color as well. So when I saw this Xbox 360 game, picked it up, $2. It's probably, it's probably crap, but you know what? At least the cover art looks awesome. That's good. So I'm looking forward to playing that one. Now, I did pick up one Switch game. I don't buy too many Switch games. I just don't see stuff that I like, especially at a price point which I want to pay. But I did see this one the other day, and I hadn't heard of it. It's called Moon Scars. So it looks like a dark game, which is sort of what I'm into a little bit. So it's pretty hard to see there with the glare, but yeah, it looked alright. I think I paid maybe $40 for this one. I forget roughly. They got this from EB Games. And I really wanted to get another Switch game. I don't buy many. I don't play my Switch too much, but I've been really sort of keen to get into it. And that was a game I thought would give me an opportunity to play it. So that's Moon Scars on the Switch. And another game I can cross off a list. I've been looking for this game for a long time, especially on this platform. I've got this GameCube game, The Hobbit. I know it's on PS2, I know you can get it on the original Xbox, but I wanted to get it on the GameCube. I don't have too many games on my GameCube, so I really wanted this as part of that collection. So I put this on. Actually, I was mucking around with it this morning next door. It looks awesome, and it cleaned up really well. It comes with a manual, inside, as you can see, the disc is next door. And yeah, it looks great. I've always loved this game. Always been sort of, you know, interested in playing it. And yeah, I'm really happy to have that so across sort of my list. I was actually at the counter and I couldn't see any GameCube games. This is at CX at Penrith, actually. I was coming down from the Blue Mountains. I thought, and I said to Andrew, do you mind if we stop in at Penrith? And I saw this and it was $32. And I thought, that's a pretty, you know, I'm happy to pay $32 for this game on the GameCube. They had like 5 or 6 games on the GameCube. I didn't see any GameCube games at the Newcastle CX. So yeah, they don't have too many over here in Australia that I've seen for GameCube games. And when they are, they're pretty expensive and sometimes they're not in good condition. So that's The Hobbit. And I also got one original Xbox game, and I got another sort of franchise I'll always buy is Prince of Persia. I wasn't sure if I already had this one, but it was actually Sands of Time that I had. So this is Warrior Within. And again, the case is pretty good. When I went to the Penrith store, I looked at their original Xbox games. They were all crap, terrible condition. So I think this one I got in Newcastle, and it was in pretty good condition. So that helps out. Really cheap, like $4 I think I paid for that. So and it presented really well. Give it a quick clean up. You know, I always check for the manuals when I'm there now. So that one had the manual, looks pretty good. And this is another game that I crossed off my list. Now I've been looking at this game for probably since it's come out. This is on the PS5. So this is the Atari 50. I sort of have a bit of a price chat. I was sort of keeping track of the prices. It would never go down in price at all. So I got this from CX for $40, and even now on Amazon it's at $80. Sure, it's pre-owned, but you know what? Half the price of what I didn't want to pay. I wanted to wait till it got down to 40 really. So when I saw that, I just didn't hesitate. Just grabbed it, and yeah, just really sort of can't wait to put that on and give it a crack. You know, all the old Atari games, a bit of the story, new games. Yeah, it's going to be, it says you've never experienced classic gaming like this. So that's, yeah, bring it on. I can't wait. So that's the Atari 50 game for the PS5. Another PS5 I got from JB Hi-Fi. I think I skipped it at EB once and I sort of regret it. It was like $12, but I got this brand new for $10, Chorus. And it's a sci-fi sort of style game. So I do like sci-fi, so it'll certainly, you know, tick that box for me. And yeah, I've just always been interested. I think I've seen it on other people's channels as well. So I'll grab that one. $10, can't go wrong. The last games are PS4 games. And I didn't get any PS2 and PS3 this time. There wasn't too much there. I sort of didn't really worry too much about I don't play the PS3 that much at the moment. I've got lots of PS2 that I'm already playing. So, and then I saw these PS4 games, I grabbed them. So I was looking through the pre-owned games and I saw this different coloured case and I picked it out. It's Until Dawn. My brother's been playing that. He thinks it's an awesome game. I think you start out with a party and then you got to try and keep them alive as you go throughout the game. And apparently you can keep them all alive, and he's lost a few, but it looked dark. It's R-rated, as you can sort of see down here. So it's going to be really interesting. And like I said, dark is definitely up in my style. So yeah, it's as I said before, it is in a nice sort of steelbook case. There isn't, I'm not sure if, well, I don't know if PS4 have manuals anymore. There's a little bit there, voucher codes, but yeah, it looks nice. So I'm really happy to get Until Dawn. I wanted to buy that game anyway, and to see it as in this steelbook, which was like $14. Stoked. All right, another game I've been wanting to play. Picked it up for $6 is Horizon Zero Dawn. Just kept hearing about it, seeing it, and I just wanted to sort of get into it and see what it's about. I think it'll look awesome. I haven't played Call of the Mountain yet on the PS2 VR, so I thought this would be a good sort of prelude to that. So I thought I'd give that one a go. And it was cheap, like I said. I had the complete version with all the other stuff, but it was $10. I thought, you know what? That's all I'm going to need at the moment. It's just the original version. And as I said before, with Games Workshop and Warhammer, I picked up this Blood Bowl 2 on the PS4. This was like $6 to $8. It's a bit worn. The case is a bit sort of damaged, but it's all right. Cheap. And I think this will look awesome on the PS4. I just really can't wait to check that out. It'll be pretty violent, I reckon. Gruesome, like with the orcs and all that. So there's a few, I think there was playable races in this one. It might have been on the DS, I read there's playable races. So, or maybe that's another game. Anyway, but yeah, that's Blood Bowl for the PS4. Awesome. And the last game of this video pickup is a game I've been wanting to get for a while, and that's Cuphead. Did originally want to get it on the Nintendo Switch, but this was half price from $60 down to $30. So I just saw it and it was the only one there. I went over to the Switch section, they didn't have it. And I'm just like, you know what, just get it. It's got like old sort of Mickey Mouse sort of style 1950s, maybe 1940s, 1930s art. So, and in a video game, I think it'll look awesome. And I know it does. I've seen gameplay of it before. So yeah, really happy to have Cuphead. Really happy to give it a go too. So that's that. And my aim for the next video is to actually play some of these games. I've got a couple more weeks off, maybe even more, before I go back to work. So what I want to do is play some of these games and experience them and pretty much film it and show it to everyone out there, so you can sort of see the different ways to play games, where it's on it with a gun or a steering wheel, or with the Kinect, handhelds, the Vita, you know, things like that, and just PS5, PS4. It'll be really interesting to put some of these on and just see what they're like and learn them and enjoy them. We'll hit the 25-minute mark, about right, I reckon. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Got plenty to come. We're always doing a video every couple of weeks if we can. A few pickups, so we got through the holidays. Yeah, I hope you like it. I might just do a little bit extra stuff in the next video, just showing you a little bit of how my collection's going. But for now, thanks very much. I'll see you next time, and have a good week. Really appreciate it. See ya.